this is Valerie Aiello, and you are listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back, y'all, and hanging out. It's another show. It's definitely an iced coffee night. So I've got my mushroom stuff here to show you guys, or tell you guys about. And it's called ZHOU, Mushroom 8-Plex, Fermented Superfood Blend. Zohu. It's one of those words that no one can pronounce correctly, probably, so I'm not even going to try. However, an iced coffee tastes like a little bit of chocolate, and I don't know how mushrooms taste like chocolate, but it's true. However, if you put this in hot coffee, it tastes like dirt. So don't make that mistake. So I just wanted to share my little iced coffee thing. So the way that I like coffee is sometimes I like it black. Sometimes I like it with a ridiculous amount of sugar stuff. I was vegan for 5 years, so I stopped doing half and half or any kind of cream in my coffee, and I did the whole gamut of every vegan creamer you could possibly ever try, because that's what you do. And I've landed on oat milk is probably my favorite. I do like soy milk, but whatever the argument is for soy being good or bad, I don't gravitate towards it. So I just don't do it. You know, if I'm in a coffee shop or something and that's what they have, I don't mind. But oat milk seems to be the winner. However, I've found, since I'm not vegan anymore, I definitely don't like just straight half and half creamer. It just does not taste right to me. However, if I put like a splash in my coffee, so like literally a splash, it does give like an extra creaminess. It could be a mental thing, I don't know, but it doesn't have that weird milky taste, but it also gives adds like a creamy boost to my non-dairy creamer. So I do like the mushroom in my iced coffee with the oat milk, and it's because even though I do sometimes like sugary coffee drinks, I like it just plain at the same time. So this has like a really good balance of like a dark coffee, no sugar taste with like a super light sugar taste, a light sugar chocolate taste. It's good sometimes. Any way to get fermented stuff in to the body, I think is a good idea. And I don't do it every day. It's kind of like that container will last me a month, and it's a little bit pricey, but it's a little bit cheaper than the Four Sigmatic version of that, which is a little more expensive. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? I saw a video from a guy. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't. Oh, Damian Keyes. I thought, there's no way I'm going to forget his name, but I did. But I remembered it again. So Damian Keyes does music marketing, his channel. In his video today, let me look it up real quick, see what it was called. So his video today was called, "Is This the End of Spotify? Musicians Fight Back." So go watch his video, and then, you'll understand kind of what I'm referencing. You know, it's like, it sucks that all of these, when Napster came out and everything was free and Metallica did their fight because it couldn't be free. And then, the iTunes thing started happening. The record stores died. The only place to get CDs was, I don't know. It was just, a lot happened. We all know the story. But then when these internet radio stations popped up, it does suck that all of the people that work at Spotify get paid high salaries, and even super duper high salaries, while the only reason why they existed was because the musicians made all this music and they're paying out basically pennies. You could have 1 million listens on one song and you'd get a 2-cent check, And that it's not fair. Like, I feel like if you're going to have a music platform, paying the musicians and paying the software people, like, let's make it more even. What the heck? However, it is what it is. We had to live in the world we're living in. And Damian, he made a good point where when recorded music started happening, people that played in venues and clubs and all that, concert halls were probably super mad that now there's a record. That's such a cheating way. You've got to experience the music in person. Recording music is so, it's cheating. What are you doing? So I can see like that definitely was probably a huge conversation. And now so the Spotify CEO came and said that if you're going to be a musician, you basically got to make content every single day, or else you're not going to connect with people. It's that the old days of putting out an album every 4 years and then going in to live in your mansion are done, which I agree. Like, the world is different. I see a lot of bands that are trying to release albums right now, and they're going on the Today Show, and they're going on their YouTube channels. They're going on all the Tonight Shows, gamut, and going on these people's shows, when it's like, those aren't the gatekeepers anymore. Those people are barely surviving. And now that they're on YouTube, it's like I guess it's a different way to perform and to connect with an audience. And they're not very good. They're not good at it. Or at least they're going to have to spend a year working at it, because it's obvious that it's a little different. It's not as good. It's not as good. But that's not to say that careers are over or anything. Pretty much every single industry has to shift right now. So what are you going to do? The satellite radio, the way that people could listen to music, and now they can listen to any song ever created, ever, at any moment of the day, as long as they have the internet. I guess the competition, it's because it's not competition. It's just when there's so many choices, somebody coming back to your album over and over again, having that happen is, I don't know how it's done necessarily without continually having something new. Or it could be the same songs, but you have some sort of new way to do something, Cher in the 70s, where Cher, all the Rat Pack people, all the Johnny Cash, but Glenn Campbell, like, there's so many artists that had their own TV show, and then they would have their friends come and play on their show, and then they would do skits, and it was like super creative. There was a next level. Not every musician can also be a movie star or television star or whatever, but a lot of musicians are super creative, and they have a lot of personality. And I think we've got to get back to, or there's a new place to be, where it's like, if you're going to write songs, you got to have a show too. So whether it's like something like this, that's super easy, that takes minimal amount of time, where it's like, hey, I'm jumping on, I'm talking for 10 minutes, I'm letting you get to know me, and this is what I'm doing, and see you later. Go listen to my album. Something's happening, and I'm starting to feel like the everyday show that is monetized, we all fell for the dangling carrot of the free places to promote our stuff, which was Facebook and Instagram. We can't give them free content anymore. We've got to work a little harder. It doesn't even have to be much harder, and monetize what we put out into the world. So if you can monetize yourself, a personal brand, adding to that another level of your band being a brand, and even though shows are probably never going to happen again, there's still ways to make money. And I listen to music every morning. I just kind of got on the Spotify train because before I was just completely YouTube because I wanted to listen to exactly what I wanted to listen to. And sometimes I would listen to Pandora because I could pick the band I wanted to listen to. And then the first song on Pandora would always be the band I wanted to listen to. And then I would just change the station to another band I wanted to listen to. I wasn't really into I don't need to discover new music. I've got 1,000 songs, a million songs in my head. I don't need any. I just wasn't interested in that. But now I'm doing the Spotify. So I have a Spotify playlist on mine, which I guess you can come on over to my Spotify page and follow my playlist. But I have a jazz playlist, and I do like hearing new jazz stuff because I'm not a jazz expert. If I was, I'd probably just want to listen to what I wanted. But I'm in the discovery stage of jazz, and mostly 1959 jazz. And then I have a Rachmaninoff playlist, and yeah, so I listen to my one favorite Rachmaninoff song, and then it just goes into discovering new classical songs. And I do that every day. Might I switch genres and go to something different? I don't know what I would do. Spotify is good. And there's times when people still listen to music. Sometimes when I'm in the car, I still kind of do YouTube because if I'm driving for some reason, which is not very often, I do want to probably listen to something that from the 90s, or I would just want to hear exactly what I want, or nostalgia reasons, I guess. I'm spinning out on a tangent. But the point is that I think bands, we got to figure out, got to work the system. So, okay, if you can't make money, very much money off of streaming, and everything's going to go to Spotify, I feel like Spotify is going to take over the world in 2021, basically starting when Joe Rogan goes exclusive over to Spotify in September, I think. Spotify is going to take over the planet because everyone's going to sign up. Anyone who hadn't before, not everyone, but all those Joe Rogan fans that are just enjoying the YouTube free version of Joe Rogan, they're hooked, and they're going to go and they're going to open a Spotify account, and they're going to start doing different things like I'm doing. I think of streaming as, there were tons of bands in the 80s and 90s. I never bought their CD, and I knew a whole lot of their songs because I would listen to the radio, or I'd go to parties, or my friends had the CD, or whatever. I never bought a Prince album. I know every single Prince song pretty much. I never went to the record store and said, I'm buying a Prince CD. Yet I knew every song from the radio. And I know there was radio royalties, whatever they're called, performance royalties. They have a name. I know that people made money off of radio, and I don't know how much of a difference it was compared to what you get paid for streaming each song. But at the same time, if I bought a CD for $13.99, I could play that 1,000 times every single night on repeat, and that band would only get my $13.50, and they'd probably only get $1 of that because all the labels and all the people working for them would take the whole pie, basically. My point is that things are changing. If you're a music person, you should definitely subscribe to Damian Keyes' channel because I like a lot of what he talks about, and he has well thought out videos with, solutions. Anyway, I did think of a Spotify hack. So if you have a podcast, you can put ads on your podcast. And if you specifically want a Spotify podcast, you can use Anchor, which is similar to having a YouTube channel. It's just an automatic way to put ads on a podcast, even if you have one listener. I'm going to test it out soon. I don't know when I'm going to turn it on, but I'm 1 month into the podcasting thing, and I just want to make sure I've got, I'm testing out different things. Turning on the ads will come later. I didn't see the point in it right out the gate anyway. But I was thinking, okay, what if you could post your song or your album as a podcast? So you're definitely getting ads. Or I'm thinking that we'll see what the ad revenue translate to. But if your music can be played on demand in a full album situation, and it's a podcast and it has ads that, people, they know they're getting it for free. They don't usually mind having an ad or two. It's not a big deal. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going into a different question, but I'm not sure what if podcasts get paid based on the membership. If people pay the $9.99 to not have ads, does Spotify pay out to all the people that are listening to the podcast? Because I think they pay out to the bands for streaming. I don't know. I just was thinking it could be one hack to actually have a podcast. It doesn't have to be every day, but I do think every band should probably have a podcast. Pretty much every brand of any kind should probably have a podcast. This is so easy, y'all. But if you put your full album as a podcast and you promote that specific podcast over and over and over again, just share that link, because the podcast is there forever. Possibly. But, I don't know. It was just like a little hack I thought in my brain. What if one of your podcast episodes was your full album and you turn the ads on and you just let that link fly everywhere and send it to everyone you know and let people share that link to listen to the album that way instead of listening to... They could also use the YouTube. Do the same thing on YouTube. Turn the ads on, put your album on there, whatever. YouTube does have a music thing, so you need to double check the proper way to load an entire album and put the ads on inside YouTube. Because a lot of bands, it's not just one full album video. It's the songs are listed and you can move forward or backward or go to a different song, but there's an album playlist that has all the individual songs. And I'm sure it kind of gets set up with your online distribution somehow. That's another conversation. I'm just saying, have a show. If you're going to, maybe this is a Spotify hack. Maybe it's not a good idea. But I'm just throwing that out there for anyone, if anyone's interested. Make one of your shows, your full album, as a podcast episode and turn on the ads. And maybe that will bring more digital ad revenue instead of just people listening inside Spotify as an album. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Is that weird? Okay. Spotify hack. Damian Keyes' new video. Go check it out. I do have we've hit 15 minutes already, so I'm just going to wrap it up. But I do have a list of things, if you're in a band, what to focus on. And possibly new revenue streams, setting up new revenue streams and new processes that you didn't before because you were constantly worrying about band practice and playing shows and a bunch of other things. But I've got a working list. It's coming soon. There are ways to make money, play music online right now. And don't give up. Shows may not ever come back. We got to be realistic. But outdoor shows could. But I'm afraid that all the bigger bands are going to take all those spots because everyone's going to be jonesing to play. So they're going to take anything just to get out there and play to people. So there might be a time when it's famous people only playing shows. But something good's going to happen, and everyone just keep your head up. And yeah, if you're in a band, make a freaking podcast. Start a show right now. It doesn't have to be the best thing in the world, but just practice communicating to people and letting people get to know you and love you and sharing music with them. Okay, I don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.